TimTheTatman has never been shy about sharing his struggles with his fans, and in return, those fans show him unwavering support. But for a guy who's all about family, he's taken a ton of hard hits.
I gotta be honest, bro, I wasn't anticipating that. I'm a sensitive Sally.
On October 9th, 2023, Tim explained to his fans that his stepmom wasn't doing well. Although he didn't specify her health issues, he announced that he was taking a break from streaming to be with the family, and his post was instantly flooded with supportive messages. But just 4 days later, Tim took to X to write, "Thank you all for all the love and support over these last couple of days. Sadly, my stepmom passed away on Tuesday." He expressed his appreciation to his fans, who, along with fellow streamers and even some gaming news outlets, left thousands of comments sending their condolences. Tim's been around since 2012, and his fans have been there for some big highs and stark lows over the years. Whether it's dealing with family illness or preparing to be a father, there's almost no part of Tim's life that he doesn't share with his people. But on one tragic occasion, Tim got hit with devastating news, completely unprepared in the middle of his stream. In early 2019, Tim's fans were caught off guard when his stream ended abruptly. His wife gave him some bad news, and he suddenly quit his game and shut off his feed. Fans ran to Reddit to speculate about what might have happened, but after taking the time he needed to handle his real life, Tim hopped onto social media to let his fans know what was going on, posting, "Sorry for the abrupt ending. Got news my aunt passed away. Shocked. Thank you much for all the love, well wishes. With family now."
Losing someone is not easy. Try not to take people for granted.
Incredibly, Tim still streamed and even played in an Apex Legends tournament that same day. Another streamer might have felt pressure from viewers to get back online as soon as possible, but Tim had other reasons for playing. In a follow-up post, Tim explained that getting into his usual routine was one of the ways he dealt with grief. In 2024, TimTheTatman's fans were shocked to learn that he was facing some strange health issues. Although he didn't offer the gory details of what was happening with him, he did explain some of his symptoms and their treatment. He was experiencing some problems with inflammation in his brain. According to Tim, the issue was getting serious enough that it was affecting his speech.
Words will just enter my head, and I'll feel like I have to say the words, and it's like a mental battle.
If that sounds unpleasant, wait until you hear about the treatment he needed to manage the issue. To help with the inflammation, he was getting infusions of NAD+, a peptide delivered via IV drip that's become increasingly popular among celebrities in recent years.
What it does is it basically regenerates cells in your body and greatly reduces inflammation.
Tim said that the injections helped reduce his symptoms, but that the process of getting them was extremely unpleasant, saying,
"It's just like aggressive. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, it hurts."
He said that the faster the infusion goes, the more it hurts, and trying to go really quickly one day caused him so much pain he almost vomited. On average, Tim said his infusions took 4 hours and left him completely wiped out by the end. He hasn't said much about the infusions since, so fans assume he's doing much better. Of all the tragic things TimTheTatman has faced in his life, his mom's death was the hardest.
God rest her soul. Mishima.
Back in 2015, Tim offered an extremely personal stream on the anniversary of his mom's death, opening up about her story and his experience dealing with her loss. He began by saying,
"I want to tell this because there may be people who have lost someone, or this may strike a chord with someone, or maybe you'll learn something, I don't know."
Tim was just a teenager when his mom died. She was only 46 and had a range of health issues that Tim had been confronted with from a very young age.
So my mom had bad health, diabetes, overweight, etc., all that jazz, heart attacks. But on top of this, she drank.
Of course, the loss of his mom changed Tim's life forever, but watching her health struggles also changed his relationship with his own health. For him, it was a wake-up call, Tim explained.
I'm not working out trying to lose weight because I want to be, not trying to be good looking. I'm trying to be healthy for my wife and son.
As tragic as his mom's death was, Tim managed to come out on the other side of his grief with the resolve to be stronger and healthier than before. It's easy to think of streamers and other gaming content creators as people who just get paid to play video games. It's a regular comment you see pop up from viewers when they see their favorite content creators talking about needing time off. TimTheTatman got a bit emotional during a stream when he was attempting to explain that, while it may appear this way from the outside, it simply isn't the case. In fact, occasional time off is the only reason he's been able to perform consistently over the years.
Me taking those breaks has made me able to stream this is now 9 years.
Tim argued that, quote, burnout is a real thing in Twitch streaming and content creation. He talked about his time working in landscaping and explained that he knows what it's like to work 40 to 60 hours a week doing hard labor.
If you do physical labor, I feel for you, man. It's not an easy thing. Flip side of that, where I'm at now, this is a hard job in its own right.
Tim argued that having time to spend with his family is his top priority, getting visibly emotional and wiping tears away from his eyes. "I'm thinking about my son, wanting to spend time with him," Tim said. That's kind of the bottom line. TimTheTatman has talked a lot about the different jobs he's held down over the years, but there was one Twitch stream where he talked about a job he didn't get, working at Taco Bell. He opened the conversation in defense of the fast food restaurant, saying,
"Do not disrespect Taco Bell, all right? I love Taco Bell."
However, the sentiment quickly turned sour when the mention of the restaurant chain reminded him of a time when he was down on his luck. In a both tragic and hilarious confession, Tim began by claiming that if Taco Bell were ever to approach the inked-up streamer to do a promotion,
there is a part of me that is tempted to say, "You're not qualified," because I was not qualified when I was younger to work for them.
Tim went on to explain that he viewed this job as a last resort in a time where he didn't have many options. He didn't go into much detail as to why he needed the job so badly, but did express how disheartened he was when he discovered he wasn't qualified. He summed everything up by saying,
"Yeah, long story short, I didn't get hired at Taco Bell, and look at me now. And I still love to eat there, just to be clear."
Things may have worked out in the long run for the streamer, but it's apparent that this rejection came at a time when he desperately needed the work. Side note, Tim really does seem to respect Taco Bell, even eating it on stream on occasion.
That crunch is lit. Man, Taco Bell doesn't miss, bro. DJ was like, what if he has nip anxiety? Which is so funny because I did used to have really bad nip anxiety.
TimTheTatman spoke on a stream about a tattoo artist react video in which he reports that they had described his chest tattoo as looking like a nipple monster which is pinching his nipples. The tattoo in question covers most of Tim's chest and features the face of a roaring bear with the mane of a lion and the wings, legs, and claws of an eagle. Appropriately, Tim has referred to this creation as a bear-lion-eagle. While Tim clearly got a kick out of the artist's comments, the remarks about his chest also sparked a much deeper conversation. He explained that he had really bad nip anxiety in high school.
I wore a tank top, and then I would wear a white t-shirt that was over that, and then I would wear my polo shirt.
That might seem pretty extreme, but apparently there were times where his anxiety over his puffy chest drove him to even more desperate measures.
And one day, it got so bad and I was so sensitive about him that I put duct tape on him.
He's come a long way, stating that he didn't care much about it at the age of 30. However, he also expressed concern that his son might go through similar anxieties about his body. One of TimTheTatman's viewers submitted a question in a stream asking how Tim kept his motivation to keep going with Twitch back in the days when he had almost no viewers. This seemed to strike a chord with Tim, and it led to him recounting the period of time where he almost quit streaming forever.
And I was probably averaging at the time, about 300 to 500 viewers, maybe 300 to 700 on a good day, where it was going really well.
Until it wasn't, Tim continued.
Call of Duty Ghosts came out. I get on to do my big 24-hour stream after my work, and I had 20 viewers.
He went on to explain that he had finally grown used to having hundreds of viewers at once, and the drop from what he had come to consider the norm shook his confidence. He also said that he now understands that a drop like that is normal with new release titles, since more people are online playing the game.
When you have a new release of a game, everyone's playing it, right? And there's way more there's way more streamers on, so the viewers get distributed a lot more.
Even so, the moment briefly wrecked the streamer's confidence and almost led to the premature end of his career. There's a silver lining here, however. The experience seems to have changed the way Tim thinks about streaming, he explained.
I'm not going to worry about the 680 viewers that I was averaging that aren't here. I'm going to try and focus on the 20 viewers that are here.